This week on Motivation Monday, let's talk about comfort food. This time of year, we all have different comfort foods that we enjoy. Avery, do you have a favorite comfort food that you enjoy during the holiday season?
No,
No, why not?
there's too many.
There's too many. You're right, there are. Well, I can tell you about one of my favorites. One of my favorites, I always grab a bag or two. Maybe this year for 2020, I grabbed 3 bags of these mint M&Ms. I love them. I don't know why they're open, but they are really enjoyable. But you know, the problem with a lot of these comfort foods that we enjoy, just like that candy, it doesn't really do us any good. It doesn't really last that long. It doesn't nourish us. It feels good for a little while, but in the end, you know, maybe it can have some effects that we don't really like. Well, we're not here to talk about candy and sweet treats and things like that. In fact, we're going to talk about and have an object lesson on what Avery's working on right here. We sometimes call her Junior Baker, and she's been helping us a lot this year with making homemade communion bread. So unleavened bread for communion. We started doing this back when COVID-19 started, and we have really enjoyed it. We've talked with folks there at Bridgewood about it, Tori and others who still to this day make their own communion bread because they enjoy it. And this bread is not what I would call comfort food. In fact, it's supposed to be very simple. But what this bread accomplishes, what the Lord's Supper accomplishes, brings us comfort. We recognize that every week God has called us to reflect upon our own lives, to partake of the Lord's Supper in a worthy manner. But we also recognize that when we partake of the bread that represents his body, when we partake of the fruit of the vine that represents his blood, we reflect on the bounteous blessings that we get from God. We realize just how comforting those blessings are. It's easy to lose perspective of that. And you know, we also have great comfort food in our daily bread, God's Word, that we're supposed to be reading, studying, living, and growing in. I'd like to read one quick passage for you from Philippians 4. Philippians 4, verse 8, one of my favorites. Lots of great stuff right there in Philippians 4. If you need some encouragement, turn to Philippians 4 and just read it. But verse 8, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about, meditate on, fill your mind with these things. When we do that, when we fill our mind with these things instead of some of the cares and concerns that we might be attracted to sometimes, we have long-lasting nourishment. This is the kind of comfort food that God has provided for us. It tastes good, it feels good, and it's good for our souls. And so we enjoy it. And I hope that this week you spend some time in God's comfort food for you. You spend some time in God's Word. God bless you.